Housing is, other than financial assistance, probably the most requested resource that our clients come to us with, regardless of whether they are a foreign national or they're a U.S. citizen and they're a domestic victim of trafficking.
We also know that access to safe and trauma-informed care, housing, and supportive services is key for there to be off-ramps for youth who are in trafficking situations. And there are so many barriers to accessing what survivors need to off-ramp from that trafficking situation.
The first problem with those three divisions of emergency housing, transitional housing, and affordable housing is just there's not enough of any of them.
Then when you look at housing and rent, initially finding housing is the most difficult.
For housing, we just need more housing that caters to single victims who don't have children, male-identified victims who are non-binary, victims that don't fit the traditional mold of what the domestic violence shelter system was set up for decades ago, because that's not what our clients look like today.
Too often, young people in crisis have to go from rural communities to big cities to get help. That puts them in an even more vulnerable situation to assault, to trafficking for sex or labor.
As an attorney who has really strived to be as trauma-informed as possible, I just have come to recognize over and over again that housing is just foundational. People are not able to really recover from their trafficking experience if they don't have a safe place to live.
Our clients will need to get shelter wherever they can find it. It's not always conducive to where they're working or where their children are going to school.
A lot of the legal work that I do for clients is taking care of each of those little steps that are barriers to them normalizing their immigration status or being able to bring a civil suit, but also to be able to get housing, and that they're all essential and they're all interlinked.
No one agency has all the answers. That's why partnerships are important.
So it can't just be throwing money at the problem, but it has to be, okay, where do people need housing and what does that housing have to look like? Who needs to run that housing? What sorts of programming needs to be embedded within that housing so that the person can holistically be set up for true recovery?
And I definitely have seen several of my clients who were fortunate to win their case, that they invested in their homes and are now being able to really think about providing that for their children and their children's children. And that at the end of the day makes it all worth it for me.